in Haldimand County to say, friends, we're going to send Toby Barrett and Jordy Elms and Michael St. Amal, Donna Skelly, Ernie Hardiman, Don Shepard, Nancy Fiorentino, and Toby Barrett to Queen's Park as part of the majority BC government. My friends, thank you very much for being here. And Toby and Ernie, thanks for the very kind introductions. It is outstanding to see a packed house tonight here in Jarvis. And I want to thank very much, as we have 4 days to go, the incredible Ontario PC team, the volunteers, the supporters who have joined us here today. My friends, I am absolutely thrilled to be here today in Jarvis. And let me tell you, we got a lot to look forward to. It is only 84 days to Christmas. 29 days to Halloween. And 4 days until Ontario families say enough is enough and it's time for change here in Ontario. Because, my friends, make no mistake, on October 6th, we are going to bring change to our province. The change Ontario families have been waiting for. The change that is long overdue, because after 8 long years, Dalton McGuinty's promise-breaking, loose spending, tax hiking, crony favoring, criminal coddling, showing up as good enough Liberals have failed our province for far too long. So let me ask you this. After 8 years of Dalton McGuinty, are you feeling any better off? Somebody said we're broke. Anybody else feeling better off after 8 years? You had enough after 8 years? Let me tell you about some of the folks I met on the campaign trail during this exciting election campaign. I was down in Cornwall not too long ago. Met a man named Mike. Mike was a 53-year-old factory worker. And the place that Mike had worked at was shutting down. One of these 300,000 manufacturing jobs, good jobs, that we lost under Dalton McGuinty. So he's a 53-year-old man. He's a husband. He's a father. He's a proud grandfather. But he's got no job to go to. And when you're 50, he's not close enough to retirement. It's pretty tough to find another good job to put money on the table. So Mike is one of the many casualties of 300,000 lost manufacturing jobs that have just vanished under Dalton McGuinty's government. Mike can't afford 4 more years of Dalton McGuinty. Can you afford 4 more years of Dalton McGuinty? No! You know what? We could also ask other folks I've seen on the campaign trail. When I was in Scarborough not too long ago in front of the Giant Tiger at a mall in Scarborough, I met a man named Horace. And Horace said to me he worked in a trucking company. And he lost his job as trucking just a few months ago. And he's out, actually that day he was going for an application, a job interview. And he said, Tim, I hope I get the job. It's getting awfully tough to make ends meet. I've been out of work for far too long. And then Horace says he couldn't believe what Dalton McGuinty was doing. That Dalton McGuinty was going to take $10,000 of his tax dollars to pay somebody else to jump out in front of him in a line in an affirmative action program. Shame! Shame! And you know, Horace had moved to Canada. He was an immigrant to Ontario. He lived here for 30 years, and he's a proud Ontarian. But he says, Tim, this makes no sense that they'll pay somebody else to jump ahead of me in the line when I need a job in Ontario today. And friends, we reject Dalton McGuinty's $10,000 affirmative action subsidy. Because this is what we believe in Canadians. We don't care if you lived here for 1 year, 10 years, 20 years, your whole life. We should have equal shot at a job based on how hard you want to work, your skills, your experience, not a special handout for the special few. Friends, equal treatment for all, and the Premier's job to create jobs for everyone in the province of Ontario. We don't want 4 more years of that. And we don't want 4 more years of Dalton McGuinty turning his backs on victims of crime, putting criminals' rights ahead of victims' rights in our province. Let me tell you about somebody named Sandy Bellows. Sandy is a woman who herself was once the victim of a violent attack by a repeat offender. And Dalton McGuinty had in his power these last 8 years to learn from stories like Sandy's and protect kids and families from dangerous criminals. But rather than rise to the challenge, Dalton McGuinty simply chooses to look the other way. Well, I tell you, Sandy Bellows says she doesn't want 4 more years, and I'm darn proud to say that she's running for us in St. Catharines. She'll be the next MPP. She'll get involved at Parliament and make change for the province and put the rights of victims ahead of the rights of criminals by being the next MPP. We can't have 4 more years of Dalton McGuinty never standing up for the things that we believe in. And friends, let me ask you this. How's your hydro bill doing these days? You notice it's gone up a little bit? How much more a month? $329 a month. Who else? 450 more. You know, in Dalton McGuinty's Ontario, hydro rates have gone up by 84%. And if you got one of these time-of-use smart meters, 150%. And you know what? That's actually the good news. Believe it or not, if Dalton McGuinty gets back in and Andrew Horvath's going to bring in the same expensive policies, average hydro bills will go up an additional $732 a year. Folks, does it get any clearer than this? Ontario families need relief. Ontario families need a break, and that's why on October the 6th, we'll stop the tax man before he can tax us again. You had enough of the tax man? All right. But let's not be fooled. Let's not be fooled. There is only one choice in this election for lower taxes, to give families a break. So there's 2 options coming on the ballot on October the 6th. Change or no change. You can choose a Liberal Party that is a gold medal holder of the biggest deficit in the history of this province, or you can choose the NDP, which still holds the silver medal and is vigorously trying to regain his old title. You know, Dalton McGuinty always has lots of excuses when he hikes your taxes. You know what he does. He looks you in the eye. You've seen the campaign, the TV commercials, I won't increase your taxes. But what does he do? He sneaks them in. He sneaks them in the back door. Dalton McGuinty has all kinds of excuses. He says, oh, the deficit made me do it. He says, oh, the recession made me do it. And we all know where he's heading today. He's planning to bring in yet another tax grab on the backs of families and says, oh, the NDP made me do it. So Ontario families need to ask themselves a few simple questions. Can you afford 4 more years of even higher taxes from the guy that brought you the HST? No! Can you afford 4 more years of taxes from the guy that brought you the health tax? No! 4 more years from the guy that brought you the sneaky eco tax? No! You knew what was I going to say, didn't you? You jumped the gun. Can you afford 4 more years of the guy that brought you the $1 billion e-health boondoggle? No! Friends, can you afford 4 more years of the guy that put your hydro rates through the roof? No! And can you afford 4 more years of the guy who increased unemployment and chased hundreds of thousands of jobs out of our province? No! Can you afford 4 more years of giving prisoners perks like freeing the human spirit, Zen yoga classes, high-definition cable TV that families can't afford for their own kids? You're laughing. It's true. He actually spent your money that way, $2,000 for playing cards for the prisoners. Friends, can you afford 4 more years of Dalton McGuinty coddling our prisoners? So that's why we're here today. That's why we gathered tonight in Jarvis, to say we stand united, to say enough is enough and it's time for real change. The choice families face here in Haldimand, Norfolk, Brant, and Hamilton, and across our great province is clear. The NDP and the Liberals, they'll keep raising your taxes. We will lower taxes for hardworking, ordinary families. Yeah!